What's up, guys? I just came back home from Toronto Regionals, and I played Lugia once again. The list is pretty much the exact same as what I've been playing, but I cut the Lightning for the Mist after my friends were like, you know what, dude, why are you playing this Lightning? It's a little funny. There's no Vessel on the deck. Maybe I should have cut Raikou too, but I was just too pilled by all these cards being okay in my deck that I decided to play it. That being said, let's go into the tournament report, and I'll kind of talk about how I kind of felt going into the day and how it went. This is probably like the roughest week I had of like jet lag, and obviously I've been traveling for quite a while now, so you guys know that if you've been following along my adventures and my journeys, that I've been basically all over the world in the last like 6 weeks. And this week when I got home, I just wasn't able to recover super well. And when I finally did, my flight was at 8 a.m., so I had to get up at like 5:30, 5:45 and head out of here. And I don't normally sleep till like 2. So it really messed me up, my rhythm up. I got to Toronto. I spent the whole day, chilling with towards some of the European guys who came into town. My crew was getting in pretty late, so we just did some stuff. Went ice skating. The vlog will have some fun moments there for you guys a little bit. I recorded some stuff that I could. Did all that, and then I managed to, lock in Lugia, go to bed. Reagan was like, I'll play it with you. So Reagan, myself, Robin, all locked it in, we went to bed. Come back the next day, I knew my matchups, I knew my spread. I expected quite a bit of cloth to be on the rise. I expected Goldengo to be on the rise. Both good matchups for me unless Goldengo gets good flips. I expected a lot of my matchups to be good. I expected Drago to still be pretty popular and a lot of Drago without Sinnoh because I think Dragos were trying to tech more for Gardevoir and Zard again because those two decks have been kind of on the rise. So by putting cards like Howlucha in and Vacuum in and like heavy Pokestop builds, I expected those decks to just simply gravitate to the top as things were going. So the meta in general should be a pretty favorable meta game for Lugia is the thought process I had. I'm not just a Lugia one trick. I want you guys to know that I did consider other decks. It's just that Lugia was definitely the best contender for this tournament for me, other than Regidrago, and I don't have the reps that I put in, and I don't think I should pick it up the night before if I haven't played any tournament games with it. So, round one, sit against Jonathan. He flips over a Iron Thorns. Give it my best college effort for about 5 minutes, and then I concede and go sit in the corner for a couple minutes because I'm just bummed. Hitting Iron Thorns to start the tournament is really like a gut-wrenching feeling. Like, nothing is a worse feeling than hitting, I think, an auto loss in your first round. Just a pretty bad feeling overall. I don't know why it like affected me so much this time around. I just like sat there pretty upset. Round two, I come back in. I took notes, so I didn't actually forget matchups this time. I ended up hitting a Azumarill deck, and so I didn't really know what it did because game one, Travis just set up as normal, but he didn't get a Manaphy, so I was able to go Wellspring, Ogerpon, pop both of his Merrills, and nothing really happened, and so, I swept the game. Game two, the Azumarill actually hit the board, and he was able to hit for 230, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool attack. But I took a turn to bring up the Pikachu and sob it, and he did switch out and kill my Ogerpon, but the sob damage is like pretty much all I needed to punch through that at the end of the game and take my additional prize cards. I ended up winning 2-0 against Azumarill. And he was explaining to me that he had like other ways to take extra prizes like Togekiss, and I was like, I don't know how you fit all that in there. Round 3, I hit Nick, who was playing Thorns Dragapult. So round 3, we're setting up. He chooses second, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then I flip over Lugia, he flips over Dreepy, and I was like, thank God. And then he trolleys for the Thorns, but I'm able to find a boss by turn 3 and get out of the situation and win the game. Game 2, he opens Dreepy once again, so I realistically like got pretty lucky there that happened even against Thorns Bolt, and then game 2 he just like kind of bricked a little bit and I was able to win. Round 4, I go up against Tommy. Tommy is playing Goldengo. Both matchups were pretty much like the exact same, where I was able to set up an early Chinchina both games. I was able to just basically start taking knockouts. Kyle couldn't get the Togekiss up and running, so he chose to chase something on my bench. And when he chose to chase something on my bench, I was just able to kill the active and like Iono basically like every time. With the Chinchino, and then I put like a Legacy on my board, so he had to get a Togekiss and had to get heads at some point, and he just wasn't able to get that up and running. So now I'm 4-1. I hit Edward, who's playing Miraidon. Game 1, I get absolutely steamrolled. Like, I'm just full bricking, nothing going for me. Game 2, I'm also full bricking, but I end up getting Edward in the saw block. I just assume, hey, I don't see a switch card game 1. I don't think I'm going to see a switch card game 2, and I just chased something down, stuck it in the active, and I was able to win game 2. Game 3, Edward ended up prizing the Pikachu, so he didn't bench it. And he benched some other bad cards. But I was able to start saw blocking once again. And I end up getting the Fez. He puts 3 energies on Fez. I end up bossing up the Bear. And started putting on that. And then I noticed that all of his energies are gone. So I was going to try to pick up the Squawk and get the Squawk. And if I got the Squawk, I think, stuck in the active at the end of the game, the game's over. I go Luminion. I didn't realize that 2 boss were prized. And so Edward is able to pop the Magneton and use a 4th boss, which I wasn't expecting, to just KO something on my bench with the bear, because now the bear can attack, and that was super unfortunate for me. I thought I had him on the ropes, but I clearly just was a little bit short, so it was pretty unfortunate to lose. Go to 4-2. Then I go against Jason. Jason's playing Goldango. Game 1, I prized Legacy, and he absolutely smokes me, and I had a slow start. Game 2, he discards Turo and Switch at some point, so I start saw blocking, and I end up winning because of that. And then Game 3, he does the exact same thing, while being super far ahead. Like, I prized Legacy once again in Game 3, and he ends up getting really far ahead, and my start's super, super slow. And I start saw blocking again, and he ends up losing. So, it should not have won that set, I don't think, against Jason. I just don't think realized what was happening. And yeah. Round 8, I go against Ryan. Ryan is playing Lugia Mirror. Game 1, I end up just winning because I went first, got the turn 2 hands knockout. It was pretty much just really far ahead. Game 2, Ryan makes a couple of weird plays where he ends up retreating a hands to try to kill me with Lugia, but I had a feed guard on my Fez. I don't think he realized that, and he attacked into me, and I was like, it's not a knockout. But in the process, 4 Jets, 4 DTEs, and like basically he had like 2 energies remaining in the whole deck. So I just bossed up the hands, and I like passed. I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring up the hands. I'm just going to pass, and he just conceded because you can't move the hands anymore after retreating the Legacy and everything. So I end up going 2-0. I'm 6-2. I know everyone has different goals at this position in their career. Like, I know some of you guys just want to make day 2 for the first time, and some of you guys want to just have an attempt at cash, attempt at an extra box, something like that, which I will not admonish. Like, you guys all have your own goals, and I think that is respectable and commendable. But if you're competing for a World Championships invite, if you're competing to play in the World Championships, competing to win the tournament, you have to play that last round. That's the only advice I can give you, because you're going to go into day 2, you can go 3-1, and you're going to get like top 64, which is a lion's share of points, but it is not going to be enough if you consistently don't put up like 5 top 64s or whatever to put yourself in contention for the World Championships. Like, you're not going to be like that player that gets there off the back of those mediocre finishes. You need a good finish. And so even if you go in at 7-2 or 6-2-1, you need to go 4-0 pretty much for money anyway. So might as well put yourself in a position where you can do that. So I hit Sawyer, another player who acknowledges that we have to play at that record. So we end up playing. I end up winning game 1. Sawyer goes for a line where he goes cure him, and I put on a second mist energy. Don't think he expected it. So I win game 1. Game 2, I brick pretty badly, and Sawyer sets up really, really well. He has 2 Dragos set up pretty much without using V-Star, and I'm just in a really bad pickle. So I just concede that game. And then game 3, I open Warrior 6 energies. And yeah, it's all she wrote. You know, I get knocked out of the tournament. Felt pretty bummed about it. I think this is one of the most down I've been on myself in a while. Like, I think my stretch of tournaments since I left has not been the greatest. Like, I pulled up my results in general, and you can see here that, like, you know, LAIC was the start of my run. I went 8-4 into a 5-3 into an 8-4 into a 7-2-1 into a 6-3. For me, this is like mediocrity, if I could describe it in the best way. So I think I might be doing something incorrect in my play. Maybe my matchups are just really bad. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I think I hit Thorns here, 2 Thorns here. Like, I think that's also super unlucky. 2 Lacks when I was playing Charizard. Like, my matchups have not been necessarily the best. So I think some of those I have to chalk up to bad matchups, but I'm sure I could be playing better in some of these situations. So I just need to sit back, take a break for a little bit, kind of analyze what went wrong, where I'm doing stuff. I'll be going to some League Cups here and there if I have some time. I'll play some fun decks. Maybe you guys get some cool videos instead of just another Lugia report. I do expect to play like something like Reggie's or something like one of my cups coming up. Just kind of have some fun with it, and maybe you guys will, you know, get to see how I enjoy some Pokemon for a little bit, other than, yeah, I just feel like I'm a little burnt out right now, and I'm excited for a little break. And I will be back for San Antonio, and you guys got more cup tournament reports. So sorry I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. Please enjoy the content as always. Like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.